that we're late. No, it's not. We're right on time.
M&M Monday is never late.
It's never late. It
Nor
always
is
arrives
it early.
Yes. It is Mumamo.
Woo.
It's time to build a super team
Let's do it.
with us.
Yes.
Your super team.
We're already a super team, though.
We really are. Like these two gentlemen here. Hello, friends. Now,
Hi,
I'm
everybody.
Disembodied Troy. That's Alex Thomas. And that's Steve Kenson. And, we're Ronins. We work for Green Ronin. And these two gentlemen, I dabble in a little bit of all the stuff. But you two work specific. Well, so do you, Steve. So do you. We all do, actually. But this is about Mutants and Masterminds.
Exactly.
And now, Steve, you're the Mutants and Master Daddy. And Alex Thomas, you are the Mutants and Master Mobster. No, what are you? Mutants and Masterminds. What's an M word?
If you believe RC, I'm the bad boy of the tabletop RPG industry.
Right.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel correct, but
Well, you're just so nice.
I can't even do one kickflip.
I love that. But you are the line lead. You are the person who brings Mutants and Masterminds, all the threads together so that we can all enjoy this tabletop roleplay game. Let's see. We've got, look at this. We've also got Jonesy's, of course, hanging out. Idiocy Inc. is hanging out. Sean Dugan's there. Sean's saying not hearing anything yet. Oh, good. Yeah. Jay Gray. Oh, go ahead.
Jay proposes an interesting idea that I think gives us a great theme that we can work with. Jay was talking about super team, made them think about an Encanto-style story. We can do a super team that is a family that are all related.
I like it. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Hey, Corey's here. Corey Alcorn's here. Dominus Ex Machina is here. Yo to you, my friend. Thanks everybody for joining. And I like that. Pook says Alex is our Mumabro.
Yep.
Mumabro. Sure. And so yeah, since we're creating a super team and we're gonna go with family style, I mean, let's do it. I like it.
Right?
I think it's fun.
Yeah, everything. The family's the most important thing. If Vin Diesel's taught me anything out of life,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
true.
AJ says Super Familia for the win. I like it. Okay. Well, so families, Claude asks, how dysfunctional should this family be on a scale of the Madrigals to the Umbrella Academy?
Well, let's see what emerges.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to put any pressure. Let's just kind of see where it flows. Now, for everybody's, Angel says I was thinking of the Venture Brothers, if anything. I did enjoy that.
At least one of the family members is going to be the villain that they had to fight every week.
Right.
Jay Gray says, boom, and suddenly I'm the most important. Sure, Jay.
Don't let it go to your head, Jay.
Yeah. Well, so to get this done, we'll be working directly with the ne'er-do-wells. And I was wondering if anyone would take issue with me calling them ne'er-do-wells, because I did so in all the promo today. But they are ne'er-do-wells, and they know it. But we're going to be using also from the Deluxe Heroes Handbook, the Quick Start Character Generator.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, now this is my first time doing it with the Quick Start Character Generator, so I'm going to have to help us and kind of sort out what it is. But here it is. 1 second while I change this so we can look at it unencumbered. So how would we like to proceed?
What I would suggest is that if we have our theme at hand, that we go with the traditional family structure of starting off with 4 characters.
Okay.
That we roll what their archetypes are.
Oh.
And then we can kind of start from there to get a starting sense of maybe what their relationships are.
Okay, I like it.
Start rolling them up in more detail. Does that sound good to you, Alex?
That sounds great to me.
Okay, so on page 56 of the Quick Start Generator, we want to go to the random archetype table, and we want to roll up 4 archetypes.
Okay, great. Gentlemen, do you have dice? I have 1 here.
Troy, why don't you go ahead and
we'll do so. And so now we're rolling for each.
Right, we're
rolling
going
once for each of the characters.
How many family members are we going to have?
Let's start with 4.
Okay.
We'll do the traditional. The super family tends to be either 4 or 5.
Fantastic.
Indeed.
I get it. Okay. I'm going to roll.
All right.
I have strategically placed my mic so everyone can hear it. 17.
All right. So we have a totem. Interesting. Okay.
Okay. I am. Was it one of you write this down?
I got it.
Okay, great. And 18.
A warrior. Okay.
Okay. 20.
Weather controller.
All right. And for the last one, I like that idea. Yeah. It says, please include representation of older adults as well. Intergenerational families are important too. They sure are.
Mhm.
2.
And a construct. Interesting.
Ooh.
All right. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Construct feels extra.
Mhm.
5.
Construct is Herbie.
5 is an energy controller. Interesting. Okay. Very nature-y sort of group with a totem, a warrior, weather controller, and an energy controller. About that. So, Alex, how are you feeling about sort of generational parents and kids, siblings, grandparent, parent and kids?
I think grandparent, parent, and kids. I think,
Okay.
Okay.
or
That
grandparent and like children who are wards.
Okay. So, which do you think? Grandparent, adult, and 2 kids, or grandparent and 3 kids?
I think grandparent, adult, and 2 kids. I think that gives us
Okay.
room for nonsense.
Okay.
And
Is the adult the parent of the 2 kids, or an aunt or an uncle? What happened to their parents?
Well, my first instinct is to make them orphans because I'm horrible.
SC Terran Marine brings up something interesting about the construct, that it could be a teenage android.
Yeah, could very well be. Construct, yeah. Sean points out the construct could be the host of a great grandparent's spirit. All sorts of possibilities.
Yeah.
So, what are we thinking? Or do we want to start rolling up some more options and see what emerges?
I think let's look at what the power sets, and then we can sort of build out from there.
Okay.
I think once we know a little bit more about the powers.
Let's go to the totem archetype.
And that is, hold on, let me find it on 95.
We're scrolling.
Oh, my inkling is that the adult is a sibling of the parent, and the parents are the supervillains.
That tends to be the parents of the supervillains. That has potential.
Oh, wow. That does have some potential.
Grandparent raised the 3 kids, the 2 kids and the kid-in-law to be heroes, but the parents branched off to villainy. And now grandpa is taking their kids, or grandma is taking their kids and trying to teach them all how to overthrow their parent villains.
Yeah, that has fun potential. All right, so the totem, Croy, give us a roll and let's see what type of totem we're dealing with.
Avian. 5.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So we've got a bird sort of theme going on. All right. So given that we know we're dealing with an avian.
I'm sorry, glyphs. Parent villains equals scarents.
All right.
I like that. Oh, that's my favorite.
So let's take a look at the behavioral advantages.
Okay.
So another D20 roll.
1.
Active. Okay, this is a character who is very much in motion, very active, agile, swift.
Ooh, like a hummingbird.
Okay.
Hummingbird would be cool.
Active.
This feels like one of the kids. This feels like a
doesn't it?
Power
Like
set
maybe
for one of the kids.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let us take a look at their social advantages.
Is that
It's the next page?
There we go. Lucky number 13.
That gives us egotistic. They are definitely looking out for themselves.
Chat's cracking me up. Yeah, okay.
All right. So they definitely have some ability to take care of themselves, but they don't really look out for anybody else. All right.
It might also suggest a younger,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A little self-absorbed.
Don't have a lot of sense of responsibility yet. All right. So let's take a look at their skills.
Kid who's got something to prove, thinks they're better than their parents already.
Origin skills?
Yep. Origin skills first.
Okay. 15.
All right. So a mutation.
They became
their powers by some kind of mutation or accident.
Okay.
Bitten by a radioactive hummingbird.
Right.
Yeah, Jay, I'm with you. Yeah, right. Get packed by a radioactive hummingbird.
Their disposition.
Trickster.
Oh, of course. Well, it makes excellent sense.
Sure does. That fits like a glove.
All right. So now we want to skip to the next page and take a look at the avian power sets.
Okay.
There are two, which is basically falcon and owl, but we can mess around with that to a certain degree depending on what we come up with.
Alrighty, I'm gonna roll, and it's falcon.
Okay, so the falcon abilities are flight, keen eyesight, and that sonic scream power, which is a powerful affliction.
It's real loud, just yelling.
Yeah, right. And that wraps up our totem. So we're talking about a really active, character who is definitely a troublemaker. I
like it.
So let's hope we end up with somebody pretty responsible in this family.
Right.
I hope we don't have a single responsible person in this family.
Right. All right. Let's take a look at the warrior archetype on page 98.
98.
So let's start with finding out their origin right in the bottom corner of page 98.
There we are. I see it. Okay. Rolled a 3, altered human.
Altered human. All right. Well, that seems to go in well with our mutant totem. So we're maybe looking at something that altered all of these characters in some way, giving them their powers. So on the next page, let's take a look at their background advantages.
Alrighty, here we go.
We need to figure out if they're oh no, never mind. Yeah, otherworldly is different than altered human, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yep.
All right, we got field general.
Okay.
Not that leader you were looking for.
Yeah, indeed. This character has some leadership potential. They know how to handle themselves in a crisis.
Yeah.
Maybe military, but that's not necessarily the case. So let's take a look at their combat advantages.
There we are. Okay. 16.
Skillful. Okay.
The bell tolls for the Alex is
Sorry,
everyone. All right.
I'm on my writer retreat, and there's a big grandfather clock right here, just off screen.
All right. So now let's do the skills roll in the middle of the next column.
The human,
right above powers.
Combat powers. Yeah. Oh, there. Primary powers, or
you're going to be same page as you rolled for combat advantages, but you're going to be in the next column over. So it's still page 99.
There it is. I see it.
Right in the middle of the second column. Yep, exactly.
Alrighty. 17.
So close to military, but instead we got mystical, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
Okay.
It's a sister weather control.
This warrior character is an altered human who has definitely got some combat experience and leadership. abilities. So let's find out what their powers are like, and roll on the primary powers for an altered human.
Yeah. Mystical doesn't necessarily mean that they're involved in magic. It's just they know about magic.
Exactly.
Interesting. So we rolled a 2, which is animalistic.
Interesting. Again, a theme is starting to emerge.
I feel like maybe the supervillain parents were experimenting on their kids.
So our animalistic warrior can speak with animals and has animal-like senses and skills. So let's take a look on the next page. Down at the bottom of the first column, the altered human combat powers.
Okay.
Let's see what they have.
Oop. Sorry. I rolled it right off the desk. Okay, 19.
They are the living weapon. All right. So they are. They have a substantial multi-attack based on their strength, which means they are just like a frenzy of combat attacks for anybody who is close by.
Interesting.
All right. So that's definitely suggesting, a sort of animalistic, like just clawing attacks, just like all around you, sort of a thing. But this character has sort of tamed that savage side because they're also very skilled and focused.
Yeah, Squire, that selective is unnecessary. I don't know why it's in there.
Yeah.
You don't need selective for multi-attack.
All right. So let's go on to the weather controller, who is on page 103.
I'm fascinated by this one.
Yeah, this has got some interesting.
Sorry, I'm my page numbers are a little different. This 103, you said, yes?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm going on the printed page numbers.
Yeah. When I read it in the browser, I have to remember that it's 3. There's a 3-page difference for some reason.
Yeah, because it counts things like the cover and such as pages.
Gotcha.
Yes. Steve, my first inkling was like fairy family or fae family with the collection of powers that we had. That was the first thing I thought, but I don't know.
Yeah, still could be,
Yeah.
Something along those lines. All right. So right under the weather controller, we need to roll and see what type of weather controller they are.
All right. Psionic.
Okay. So they have mental control over the weather.
Interesting.
This is like that lady in Encanto.
Right.
Who gets upset and it starts to rain.
So now their advantages is right on the next page, right at the top left.
Right here?
Yep.
Excellent.
Let's see.
We rolled a 4. Adapted.
All right. So they have adapted to the elements. So they have a great endurance and they have a favored environment associated with the elements.
Okay. Now, do we choose that now or wait until we kind of get a bigger picture?
I tend to wait on that. To me, that's sort of a final detail that you fill in when you have a better kind of overall view.
Yeah, it does feel to me like that means that this person got their weather powers later in life, since they had to
adapted to it. Yeah. Sean Duggan mentions, possibly family of eco warriors.
Yeah.
Or, maybe the parents are involved or they're eco terrorists.
Hey, Kevin, glad you could make it.
Potential split there. Let's take a look at our weather controller's skills. Top of the next column.
Okay. 1.
And they are attuned and sensitive to their surroundings.
That makes some sense.
Yeah, they've got a lot of insight and perception and some type of expertise related to it.
See you later, idiocy.
All right. So now we know that the weather controller has weather control, obviously.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, for this particular archetype, basically, they have a default array, and then we are going to roll 5 times on this table on the upper left of page 105.
Okay.
To see what the alternate effects in their array are. What are the weather things that they specialize in?
All right. Now,
particular tricks.
Do you prefer to just roll? Yeah. So we'll roll pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just we'll roll and see what each one is.
All right. 16 is.
All right. So we've got storm.
Yeah. Stormy weather.
Always a good one.
Make it miserable for 2 miles.
Okay. 17 tornado. Yeah.
All right.
1
Arctic freeze.
Okay.
Ugh.
9
glacier. Okay, we're starting to see a theme here.
Okay.
And one more.
Kevin, to answer your question real quick, we are looking in the Mutants Masterminds Deluxe Heroes Handbook, and we're using the character generator.
The quick start character generator.
Yeah. Did I roll?
One more.
Okay, one more. 10.
Yeah, that's glacier. Roll again.
5.
And dense fog.
Sure.
Fun.
Yeah.
All right. So this character definitely has a sort of cold weather theme to them. They definitely do. They do Arctic fog, ice, and storms, and tornadoes as sort of their big finishing move.
Interesting.
So now let's take a look at their defensive powers. There are 2 defensive power tables for the weather controller, and basically we're going to roll once on each one.
Okay.
I hope we get cold immunity.
13.
Weatherproof. Nope. Immunity to weather effects, which is still good.
And 8.
And vigorous, enhanced stamina. All right. Again, that goes kind of well with Alex's notion that this character has been through it, that they have had to really adapt to whatever it is they have done, whatever's happened to give them their powers.
Yeah, that also implies to me that this is an older character. So on the family tree, this feels like somebody who has been through it. And the ability to do all of these massive environmental effects feels like it takes time to practice and learn how to do.
I like it.
All right. And last but not least, we have a roll on the weather movement powers table and see how this character gets around.
Arc riding.
Ah, nice. All right. So that means that they can use either the wind or the lightning to basically just jump great distances.
Yeah, the chat, Glyph says someone who's weathered many storms, and Claude mentions that one of the adult siblings of one of the parents. Interesting idea. Maybe the grandparent, Sean Holland suggests. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, indeed.
I also noticed that none of these weather powers are selective, so that also implies to me that they're not used to working on a team.
Right.
Ooh, Alex, very interesting. I like that.
That is an interesting note.
Very interesting note. I like that you...
Well, that's not true, actually. Dense fog is selective.
Oh, is it? I didn't... But tornado's not. And
tornado's not.
2-mile weather environments not.
Right. But yeah, the point still stands that a lot of their effects are not the sort of thing you find on somebody who's used to working with a team.
I like that. Yeah, that's an insightful look also at sort of just the way Alex's mind works. So you can kind of get a little expertise, bring a little expertise out of the show. I like it. All
right, let's go back now and take a look at our energy controller.
And what page is that?
This is some of the stuff I talk about when I'm talking about your powers can impact your character. Like looking
absolutely.
At those things and seeing why does that happen? Why did that make sense the way it is?
Love it.
So,
what's the page?
That's what I'm...
Oh, sorry.
Energy controller starts on page 66.
I love energy controllers. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, they're a great archetype. You can do so much with the basic concept. So let's find out what their abilities are first.
All righty. 7.
Oh, a hothead.
Oh, I read that as impetuous and ticklish for some reason. I was like, what?
I mean, they might be.
They could be very, very, very.
So yeah, this is a family of very, very low self-control.
Mm-hmm.
So on the next page, we're going to look at their advantages. And here we're rolling twice on the table to get two different sets of advantages.
Roll number 1, 17.
17 is a wisecracker. Oh yeah, I can see what we're getting ourselves into here.
Right. I know the
what
type.
else have we got?
And the next one, 19.
Nope. Why re-roll it?
18.
No. Wow. Okay, we get it. There were wisecracker.
10.
And intimidating.
Huh.
Mm.
A wisecracking intimidator?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Squire says maybe they are the villains.
So, Alex, I'm getting the impression that our energy controller is the middle generation aunt or uncle, who is sort of the irresponsible sibling who has now been looped into like taking care of their niece and nephew or their nibblings in absence of their parents, in spite of the fact that they are just completely unsuited for this role.
That sounds right.
Because they're an irresponsible hothead.
I also get the idea that the energy controller and the totem either butt heads or are partners in crime.
Right. Sometimes both.
Yeah.
All right. So on the next page,
the wino ant.
Jimena Gabriel, I'm looking also. Rebellious Moose says an energy controller with a kryptonite-like weakness to being tickled.
Right. It's hard to concentrate that way.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Okay,
they got to arrest the tickler though. That's a supervillain you can't leave out in public.
Oh no, you can't be just running around.
You can't let them roam free.
No.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at their skills on the next page.
Okay, here we go.
All right, so once again, we're going to roll twice on this table to see what their skill sets are.
Pilot, driver.
Ooh, fun. Great character to have in the team.
Sean, I get that, yeah, but still a cool aunt or uncle, yeah.
Right.
14.
And they're popular. Oh gosh,
this is really coming together.
Right.
I see it.
They are totally the daredevil pilot type who has no responsibility and is constantly getting
care
themselves
in the world
into trouble and shooting their mouth off.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right. So,
I like this being the middle generation because it's like, what if Reed and Sue went off and were villains and Johnny was left?
And Johnny was left.
That's right.
Pretty much. Yeah. All right. So now it's their energy control type. So that's on that sidebar, the bottom lower left there. Going right past it, Troy.
Up a little bit.
Oh, there it is. Oh, wait, here? Offensive powers?
No, bottom left.
Bottom left. Okay. Energy. Okay, gotcha.
We're going to see what kind of energy they control.
13. Oh.
Hellfire. Oof.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Now we're getting a little more Johnny Blaze than Johnny Storm.
Right.
This is getting fun.
All right. And
okay, so now we can go on to their offensive powers.
There we go. Okay. Rolled a 9. Energy control.
All right, so they have an energy control array with an energy blast, the quick change ability, and then we are going to want to roll on the alternate on the alternate effects.
That's the Hellfire summoning noise
page to see what the other effects are that they
roll this 3 times.
Yeah, this is going to be on the alternate effects on page 69, top of the.
Am I there? I'm there, right?
You are there.
Okay, good. Yep. Good. All right. 17, snare.
Snare. Ooh, that's an interesting one for Hellfire control. I like that.
Okay. Okay, I'll roll that again. And okay, telekinesis.
Oh, okay. One more.
And energy manipulation. Rolled a 9.
Yes.
That's a deflect redirect.
Interesting.
Ghost drinker. She has to be a wine aunt, says Raymond.
So the really interesting thing about this set, apart from the fact
Glyph
that
wins. Helikinesis.
Helikinesis. Yes. The really interesting thing about it is, apart from the blast effect, the base ability of the array, all of these other abilities are basically non-damaging, and are all about containing and grabbing or deflecting things. So I think maybe our Hellfire controller has learned to use their powers in a way that doesn't unleash their evilness by using them only to not cause harm. I can use them to grab you or to deflect or to try and limit things, but as long as I'm not trying to burn your soul, I'm not bringing up the evil side of this.
Very interesting.
You see, and Steve, I was like, let's pull them in front of the motorcycle and then run them over. That's what the chains are for.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because you're thinking about the character themselves, and if they are kind of more used to being a loner, maybe part of that is for the protection of people around them, and that they have a wisecrack attitude because they're riddled with guilt or discipline or something.
Sure. Yeah. They can't get close to people, so they use humor as a shield.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at our energy controller's defensive power. We know that they have immunity to their own energy, but we need to do one more to see what else they can do.
6.
Energy shield. All right, so they have enhanced defenses. They're harder to hit, and they have a low level of protection. So they're fast and they're tough, but not massively so.
Yeah, this would also be an instance I would try to have a conversation with the GM to be like, since I'm immune to Hellfire instead of all fire, could we make that less than immunity 5?
Right. Yeah, that would be fair to say, can we knock this down to maybe immunity 1 or 2, depending on how many other Hellfire wielding characters there are in the set. If I'm going to encounter a lot of demons and they use a lot of Hellfire, maybe immunity 2, but
Squire says, I keep trying to scroll the pages. I do the same thing when I'm watching something or it's a Zoom presentation
And lastly, we need to do their utility powers. And once again, they have 2 of these.
6.
All right, energy form. Oh, so they can turn into Hellfire.
Wow.
Which is interesting.
And 17.
And scrying. Ooh, that's great. That's very appropriate. So the interesting bits with their utility powers is because they have awareness associated with their energy type, they can sense other Hellfire wielders. And they have that sort of scrying ability. I love the notion that they can conjure this sort of floating circle of Hellfire that they can see other places. And all of that sort of a thing. It's a very
how cool.
mystically appropriate power. So yeah, interesting, really interesting. So Alex, it sounds to me like we're looking at our Weather controller as the elder character, our Hellfire controller as the middle generation character, and our paired Totem and Warrior characters who are both sort of animalistic powers as our kids.
Yeah, I think so.
That seems to make pretty good sense.
It does, yeah. Yeah, that feels right.
All right. So let's take a look at our construct and see who they might be. Constructs could be anything from the family mascot to, sort of like other folks said, the repository of someone's soul, or the, wayward creation of, one of the characters, so far as that goes. So construct starts on page 58.
I'm really wondering if the middle generation, like the parents made a deal with the devil to give their kids powers and the sibling was caught in the aftermath of that.
That's an interesting possibility.
All right, here we go. We're at construct.
Yeah. So let's see what kind of construct, because this is going to have a big effect.
Yeah, it is.
The type of character they are.
I'm really family dogs is Gene. Yeah. Chat. I'm. What do you think? I'm rolling the die. This is a very important pivotal moment.
You see, Dominus, I agree that Golem would be the one that fits the best, but we are going to stick with the random rolls and see what fate has for us.
We'll do that. Right.
I do think the dice have a sense of drama, though. They'll probably give us what we want.
Well, okay, listen, this is so funny because I was like, it can be. I mean, I legitimately, truthfully rolled a 1.
Okay, Golem it is. See, the chat has made it so.
Mm-hmm. This is like when the GM says you'll win unless you roll a 1.
Boom. All right, so on the next page, we want to take a look at what their advantages are.
Okay, here we go. 17. Perfect recall?
Perfect recall. Okay. So we're heading towards sort of a major domo nomenclatura type of, secretary character, who has a great memory of things and is good for keeping track of stuff.
Hey, Duca.
But let's take a look at their skills, where we're going to roll twice to see what those are.
Duca, for your edification, right now we're creating a super team, a super family team.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled a 13 seeker.
A seeker.
Oh.
Right, interesting. So they got investigation and perception and persuasion.
Okay.
And one other. So
17.
And they're a sneak. They're also sneaky, deceptive, and stealthy.
I don't trust this construct.
Interesting, right? What is up with this construct?
It remembers everything and it's trying to look for clues.
Right,
to its
it knows
past.
Everything and it's poking its nose into everything and
sneaking around.
I'm starting to wonder, instead of like Major Domo, if our construct is more like their parole officer. Or their minder. Somebody who's supposed to be keeping an eye on these troublemakers.
Very interesting. Sean Holland says butlers are always sneaky.
Butlers are sneaky. There's always the, where did you come from?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't sneak up on me like that. Everyone in the family is always telling this construct, like, stop sneaking up on me.
I like this. Rebellious Moose says this is shaping up to be the dog from Inspector Gadget cartoon. Yeah, the dog that's always saving the day, and yeah.
All right. So let's take a look at the Golem's primary powers. Upper right of page 59.
There we go.
Top of the second column.
Primary powers. Rolled a 1.
All right, so it's a blast power.
They're just like, woo, party. Let's have a blast.
Good shot with it too.
Oh yeah,
from the looks of it.
Now, do I need to?
Nope. We're going to go right on to the next page.
Okay.
And in the first column, take a look at the defensive powers.
There we go. I rolled a 16.
All right. So they have unnatural toughness. This guy is no pushover. Lots of protection that layers on top of their already existing impervious protection. They've got basically impervious protection 12 on top of a boatload of immunity. So this guy's tough.
Yeah.
And then their secondary defensive power right below that.
4.
Oh, and they've got the inhuman brain.
Nice.
So they are immune to mental effects. See, to me, that is just adding to the notion that this character is like meant to be someone that these other characters can't influence in any way,
Sorry, I'm looking at the. You are over on Twitch. I see. Yeah, I don't. Sorry about that, friends. People are like, I got an ad. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't control that, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately, we cannot. And Duca, we broadcast using a third-party software, and so we may not receive your whisper on over there on Twitch. I have not seen it, but after the program, and folks are also welcome to send a note at let's play at greenronin.com, and we can ignore you there too. Okay,
Gutler. What if they have like a mystic sanctum that's their headquarters? This is just the minder of the sanctum. Like this is the being who watches over
could
the place that they live.
Could be. Yeah, that makes sense. Folks in the chat seem to be very interested in Glyph's notion that we have a gargoyle-like character, who's handling things, which makes pretty good sense.
Like they don't fully understand the place that they've made their headquarters, and they found this as like a bonus for the headquarters.
Right.
Yeah.
But the gargoyle's there to protect the secrets of the sanctum and to keep an eye on them from whatever larger entity is trying to influence them a certain way.
Yeah. That makes some sense.
I wish I knew more about some of I know that Gene's just very, very adamant that there be some Japanese influence, but I just don't know a lot about. I know some demons, but but that's it's interesting. We'll take that under advisement.
Yeah, I mean, it would take some work to adapt the mythology to fit all of it, but it would be doable.
Sean, surely you jest. I can't believe that we would ignore you for a full 2 weeks. I thought we answered your question last. Of course, here I'm questioning a Sean. How dare I?
Right.
You think I've learned by now. Sean, I'll look for that question and about whether triggered effects have an attack roll.
I think the question is,
they can, and it depends on the nature of the effect. We discussed this before, as I recall.
Sean, we read it on air, or we talked about it on the show, I thought.
Yeah. It depends very much on what triggers the effect and what the effect is. If the effect is directed, then generally the answer is yes. It has, like if the triggered effect is a blast shoots out of, a point, then it has an attack roll. If it's an area effect, and a lot of triggered effects are, then obviously it doesn't. Likewise, if it's a perception triggered effect, or if it's an effect that is triggered by the thing that it is targeting, like the most common example being you touch something and trigger an effect, then the effect happens because you're touching it, and it wouldn't need an attack roll in that instance. Like such as a trap where you're touching something like a live wire.
There you go, Sean. Yeah, you might have missed it. Yeah, I know we answered the question, but hopefully that gives you what you need. Good, Sean says for his penance, he will rewatch the last several streams. Absolutely. No notes. Thank you. Awesome. So Klutz says, and you'd use the trap setter's accuracy for that?
Generally speaking, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, use your better discretion. I mean, if it makes sense for an attack roll to take place, have an attack roll take place. But if not, don't do it.
Yep, indeed.
Thanks, Jonesy. Yeah, Craft 01. Sorry, no timetable yet, but it is in process.
It's in the works.
Yeah.
So, Alex, what are you thinking about how our super family is shaping up?
The Messian, I'm here for it.
Right.
That's
yeah.
Yeah, we need to add complications, of course, but the clock agrees.
Right.
That's right.
Ominous tolling.
So have we done 3 or have we done 4?
We've done 5.
Done 5.
5. Holy smokes. What in the world? Sorry, I'm all wrapped up. And
Troy blacked out for a second.
I did.
I mean, we've got the notion that our weather controller is the grandparent or the eldest character, that the energy controller is an aunt or an uncle. Folks seem to be leaning towards aunt, interestingly enough.
Yeah, I like that idea too. It seems
that
messy aunt is a great archetype right now.
Is a great archetype as far as that goes. And that the totem and the warrior are siblings who have animalistic powers, both of them, which makes a certain amount of sense, and that they're both sort of mystically transformed or mutated in some way.
Yeah, it could be. If we're keeping with the Hellfire theme, we could even make those animals like infernal animals. Like maybe the avian character has a harpy archetype instead of it's still Falcon-esque, but it's got the cry of the harpy and leather wings.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And the warrior, who is just good at punching everybody in a close space very quickly.
Right.
AJ Real says, AJ Doko Real says that the drama this family will have will be so amazing.
Yeah, I also like that one of the kids is the leader type, because everybody, like the Storm grandparent is like, I'm not meant to be doing this right now. I'm supposed to be retired, but here I am trying to track down my own kids.
Exactly.
I like this. Sean mentions, or vice versa, they draw on the natural world to resist the lure of hell.
Yeah.
Oh, the Hellfire family is a great super team name.
That is a pretty darn cool name. Yeah.
I'm writing that down as an actual play idea, like Chad is requesting.
Well, yeah. Who was that? What was that? Warden Maximus says, will these be the pre-gens for the next actual play? Could be.
We have other plans for the next actual play, but
the one after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's got some interesting potential. And like Alex said, the missing parents, could be folks who made, maybe the middle generation, made a literal deal with hell, and that's why the kids are mutants. That's why the parents are missing.
Maybe the grandparents' kids didn't have powers to begin with.
Claude says the Hell family.
The Hell Feral family.
Oh, sorry, Alex.
I'm imagining that the middle generation was born without powers, and maybe the two siblings who are villains now resented that, and that's why they reached out to make this deal, trying to live up to the legends of their parents being Golden Age superheroes or Silver Age superheroes.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, really interesting. I like it.
Because that generation would be Hellfire heroes or villains right in the middle of the 90s.
Right.
During the Iron Age.
A real satanic panic for the whole family.
Yeah. John says a canonical super family is a ready-made background for all sorts of character complications. One just has to figure out what their position was. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a kind of a map. We kind of all know what those, what character the younger sibling is, the middle kid, the grandma, the grandpa. Yeah. Glyph says Mr. Infinity and Vathek the Appeaser could certainly be involved.
Yeah, any of our various infernal, sort of characters could have something to do with it.
And what a monkey paws ritual to make the kids of the parents the things that's going to stop them from their villainous reign.
Right.
Force that family infighting just to devil's kiss.
That's right.
Yeah. Like John says, it's just built-in drama.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some other considerations? I know that we're getting close to the end of today's program. Are there other things, like for someone who would be in this position and not have your two big brains and a whole chat to kind of draw from? What would you recommend they do next?
Well, I would tend to sort of sketch in the broad strokes of the characters' backgrounds at this point, and start getting a sense of where they came from, those sorts of things, so that you can start filling in some of the details about their stats and their favorite environments, and sort of key things about them. So this is where the group would collaborate, and probably starting with the eldest character. I would say, to that player, what do you picture this character like? What were they like in their prime? Those kinds of things, and just sort of build out the family's history, so that the players can build on that.
Weren't we just
finishing details?
weren't we just on stream looking at a great resource that talked about background character stuff and
yes, Astonishing Adventures Assembled when it comes out.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes,
so we've got it, but you don't. But you soon will. There's some great stuff in there.
But yeah, you want to look at those sorts of prompts basically to give some thought to who these characters are.
Coming up with a name is important.
Yep.
Like my inkling right now is to call the kids Harpy and Hellhound. Like those are the two.
Yeah, that's great.
Like, and then I don't know, and Ghost Rider is the middle one. That's the only name I think.
I'm glad everybody had a great time. We're excited about it too, and I know that there have been a couple of requests that we kind of get crunchy and kind of get in and do this sort of stuff, and so we'll kind of try to inject as much of this kind of activity and engagement because it's fun.
I really want the grandparent to have a super Silver Age name like Captain something or
yes,
something, or
yes,
right.
Absolutely. Let's see. John says a neat possibility occurs to me, which is a non-powered hero who's specifically trained and prepped to take down his villainous superpowered older family members.
Sure.
Interesting. Yeah.
Sure. What if Batman's whole Justice League shtick was the family affair, and it was the annoying non-powered brother who's like, "I have plans to take out all of you."
Right. Yeah. And
Malevolent. No.
Malevolent. Ay. That is really good.
And Captain Maelstrom. Yeah, there's their old great Hellion names.
That's delightful.
It's really good.
Hellion's not a bad name for one.
No, Hellion's not a bad name at all. That's a good one too.
I want to hang on here. I'm pulling up a website because we made a whole plan, and it's come nearly to fruition. We do need to do the Love is in the Arrow actual play.
Yes.
We need to get that in the books. Steve, your actual play is
scheduled for April 22nd.
There it is.
Which is Earth Day, which folks cannot read anything into at this point.
Okay. Awesome. So there you go. That answers your questions, friends. And now, of course, you want to head over to patreon.com/mutants masterminds. And later today, we've had a day because, we also released our Fantasy Age core rulebook second edition to rave reviews. Long anticipated, much lauded, and out there in the world, and ready for you to pick it up because go ahead, Steve.
I'm really excited for folks to get a look at what we've done with Fantasy Age.
Absolutely. Edition. Drop the link in chat and you'll find it there. And, there's the pre-order deal. So you pre-order the print book and you get the PDF for $5 and you can download it and you get it today. So there you go. And you too can rave and rant.
I just thought of something that's going to make the chat groan. All right, so the middle generation is the aunt, right? And she's meant to watch over the two kids.
Yep.
So she could be the auntie monitor.
Alex.
I love it. Raymond said, already bought it. Thank you, friend.
Thank you.
Hope you are enjoying it as well.
Yeah. Bless your heart. More like.
Claude says no. We could have done an M&M pastiche of Captain Planet and the Planeteers,
Oh, we could have. Captain Planet's a construct, I think.
Yep, technically.
Yeah.
He runs on human hearts. I understand that part of
That's right. He does.
Right? Summoned by the hearts of orphans.
That's right.
I'm not better than that.
No, Alex is not better than that. Anyone who's watched him on stream knows that's
no, absolutely. And that's why he's the bad boy of the TTRPG game.
Yep, exactly.
Gentlemen, so we're in the last 5 minutes. Thank you for hanging out with us. I feel as though did I finish a thought? No, I must have.
Ever?
That's so true. But no, would be the answer to that question. Steve, what do you got cooking? Anything good? Anything great? Anything new?
Well, on it being apparently like product release day, I also released the Icons Annual 2 for Icons, which is a compilation of my Patreon material from last year. for icons. It is now up on DriveThruRPG in PDF and print on demand.
Nice.
For folks who prefer their books in paper form. So folks can go and check that out.
So the DriveThruRPG, will they find it as under Steve Kenson or?
Yep, they can find it by searching on me or searching on icons, and I imagine it will show up in the new products scroll as well. Hopefully, it will show up in the best-selling products scroll at some point, but it's only if people go and buy it.
Nice, yeah. So it is product release day, and if somebody, I'm not. We'll get into this in a moment, and then anything else you want to add?
I think that's it. I obviously encourage folks to check out Fantasy Age Second. It's a really it's a great product, and I think that folks will have a lot of fun with it.
Agreed. And Alex?
Well, I am currently in the middle of a writer's retreat in Michigan, so I'm looking at a lake right now. It's great.
Nice.
I will be back on Wednesday for our Freedomly Dark in the Multiverse of the Master Mage stream that we're running every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. at twitch.tv/Untold Stories Project. And I have some other stuff in the works that I'll be able to talk about real soon.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. A lot of things moving on in the background. Well, I wanted to say to everybody in chat, thank you for hanging out and having fun with us today. We really appreciate it. We'll kind of continue to marinate on these characters. Maybe we'll bring them back for another round of, fleshing out and getting the nitty gritty done.
And Apu points out, please do go and support our friend Owen Casey Stevens Kickstarter.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, I want to run and commission art for these characters from the lady I work with.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
They're so messy.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love messy characters.
Absolutely, and and again, I just want to also just sort of double down on that our buddy Owen Casey Stevens, picking up the bundle over at the Humble Bundle, or not Humble Bundle, rather, sorry, the Bundle Holding. And you will do that at the link that I'm going to drop. And let's see here. That's in the quick deals section at the top of the site. You'll see time limit offers, quick deals, and then store. And you can also get there by the link.
A great collection of Pathfinder 2nd edition adventures and material.
And proceeds go to help a great guy who could use the help. So, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Hey, listen, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you for making Monday so rad. And don't forget, this Thursday, we're going to be doing on Thursday, we're going to be going deep in the Fantasy Age 2nd edition core rulebook and taking your questions. So gear up, join us there. We'll have a lot of fun. That's 2 p.m. this coming Thursday for Thursday. And I think that's it. Goodbye, everyone.